I'm Mike.
And I'm Adam.
And this is Stuff and Waffle. Two friends talking about stuff, and often as not, waffling with frequent reference to Bond cars.
Well, it's been hot as balls this week, but here we are, raring to go. Yes.
You say it has been. It's still currently.
It still is. That is very true. It is that time of year where we are uncomfortable in our podcast. But
I do have a temperature measuring device. I'm not going to call it a thermometer because it's part of the smart heater that is in the room that I'm in, and it does tell me the room temperature, which is 28 degrees.
Oh, no.
Suboptimal recording temperature, if you ask me.
And here we are at 8:45 in the evening, and it's still 28.
I'm tempted to take all the gear into the garden because it's really cooling off out there now. It's just
absolutely. It's if I was recording on a laptop rather than a desktop PC, I would do that.
But there we go. We soldier on for the cause.
We do. We must not miss a podcast week. We never have in all the time we've been doing this. So here we are for your entertainment and delectation.
Quite. And
it's my
your turn. That was
my turn is what I was going to say. Yes, it's my turn for some nonsense statement. Well, one nonsense statement and two non-nonsense statements.
Oh God, if they're all nonsense, we're buggered.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I could. I've got a selection. I could take the nonsense one from each thing and try and fool you, but no, that wouldn't be fair, would it? So we're not going to do that. No.
I'm waiting for 1 week where I get it wrong from my little... I don't have quite the backlog that you've got, but I've got enough. And I just worry that 1 week I'm just going to give you 3 true things and go, oh, bollocks.
Oh, no. And I'm going to be desperately trying to... Are you sure about this one?
Yes. But it's not happened yet, and hopefully won't happen now as we've...
No, but I do need to chip into your lead because you are irritatingly ahead and maintaining that position.
Yes, I'm 6'4" as it currently stands.
Yes, you are a little bit ahead, which is entirely unacceptable. So
okay, so it's your turn to trip me up and make sure that doesn't become 7-4.
I'm gonna try. Okay.
Right, I got my notepad open and I've got my fingers poised on the keys.
Okay, here we go. They're fairly simple this week, but nevertheless, one of them is false. Okay. Number 1. Despite only seating up to 8, the Subaru Ascent has 19 cup holders.
Right. Despite only seating up to 8, the Subaru Ascent has 19 cup holders, you say?
Correct. That is what I said.
Well, I was going to say correct. No, I don't.
No, I'm not.
Exactly correct.
No, I'm not saying that is necessarily true or false. I'm saying it is correct that is what I said. Yes.
I see.
Okay.
Got
that. Yeah.
I mean, I do. That's weird. I mean, if it's true, that is really weird. But yes, go for it.
Okay, number 2.
Next one.
The 1966 Aston Martin DB6.
66. Hang on.
Get that down. Yes.
1966 Aston Martin.
Aston Martin DB6. A lot of sixes in that. Yes.
Yeah.
DB6. Not as good looking as the DB5. Factually correct. That's true. That's true. We're not arguing with that. No. That's true. That's not the statement. I just threw that in. We can't use opinions in these statements. That wouldn't work at all.
No, that's fact. I'm not. There's no opinions there.
No, it just isn't as good. Was the first car ever to be fitted with a courtesy delay on its interior light?
Was the first car ever to be fitted with a courtesy delay on the interior light? There we go. I'm just making sure. Right. I'm going to read this sentence back to you, okay? The 1966 Aston Martin DB6 was the first car ever to be fitted with a courtesy delay on the interior light.
Correct. That is what I said.
Okie dokie. All right. Maybe.
All right.
Yeah, if you like. Yeah, we'll come back to that. I don't really know. But maybe.
Number 3. Bit of detail again here. The 2001 Lexus SC430.
The 2001 Lexus SC430. Yes.
Was the first car to feature an illuminated sill plate.
What's the first car to feature? I can't spell. And oh God, I spelled that worse. Illuminated.
It lights up.
Sill plate. Okay. Okay.
So there's your 3. An eclectic selection of vehicles. I think you'll agree.
An interesting selection. All right. Despite only seeing up to 8, the Subaru Ascent has 19 cup holders. Now that I like it.
Okay.
And I don't know about it. This is there would be a pure guess on that one. So I like it enough where I'm not going to make a final decision, but I like it. I'll probably say it's true when we get to the crux of it, because that's excellent. Okay. Aston Martin DB6, 1966, first car to be fitted with courtesy delay. It's a feature we take for granted. And it had
pretty standard these days, yes. Yep, pretty standard these days, yeah.
It would make sense to appear on a luxury vehicle.
Yes.
And that is one. So, yeah.
Yes, certainly. Luxury, exclusive, expensive, etc.
Yeah, all of the above. I mean, I think it's a brand that probably could have been all right with it. I mean, if you'd have said Rolls, I probably would have gone, yeah. Bentley, Aston. Yeah, they're all, it's the same mold, isn't it? I can believe it. But have you been a bastard and have you just pinned it down to that DB6 where actually, no, turns out it was the DB4 or something like that? Maybe. Don't know. We'll come back to that. The 2001 Lexus SC430 was the first car to feature an illuminated sill plate, was what you claimed.
That is what I said, yes.
I don't know if this is a thing. I mean, granted, it may well have it, but I would question it because I think I've been in something from my youth, or late teens. Well, that's still youth, isn't it? I remember it well.
Yeah, it is when you're our sort of age, yes.
Yeah. I think on holiday, I think I visited Canada, and I think something of a North American origin older than that had it. Thinking, or whether actually I'm basing it on solid fact from experience, or whether I've just misconstrued an experience. I don't know.
Mind does play tricks.
It does. However, what I'm going to do is, because there's something in there in a distant memory, and the other two are verging on guesses. So, I mean, this could be utter nonsense, but the fact that I've honed in on something in the memory banks, which I genuinely think is wrong, I'm happy to be proved otherwise. But I think when I visited relatives in Canada, I think I went in something older than a 2001 Lexus SC430 that featured illuminated sill plates, and I can't pin down what car it was, unfortunately. Could have been a Lincoln, could have been a Caddy. I don't know. I cannot remember. Okay, so on that really tenuous memory, I'm gonna say Subaru true, Aston true, Lexus false.
Locking that in.
I'm locking it in. Yeah, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to trust a dormant memory.
Well, from the information that I found and the research that I did, I can tell you that you are incorrect.
Right, okay, so talk me through it then, because I genuinely do have memories of a vehicle. Go on then.
Well, again, unless the research is wrong, but the one that that is false is number 2. The Aston Martin DB6 was not the first car to be fitted with a courtesy delay on its interior light. That was, in fact, the Jensen Interceptor.
Again, so yes, it's a right sort of brand that I would expect. Yes, okay.
Yes. Subaru Ascent, apparently I've never been in one or been near one or had anything to do with one, but from the research I have done, apparently it has 19 cup holders.
Did we? I don't think we even had them, did we? I don't know if we got them over here.
I don't think we did. No, it's not a looker, let's be honest.
No, I mean, I'm gauging it from it is just a crappy SUV, isn't it?
It is just a big crappy SUV, yes, and that was overburdened with cup holders. So.
There we go. I've just googled it. The Ascent won't be sold in Australia, Europe, Japan, or any other global market. It's designed. It's Subaru's biggest vehicle they've ever produced, and it's designed for North American families.
There you go. Yes, which would make absolute sense, wouldn't it? So there we go.
It is designed in Japan, built in Indiana. There you go.
Oh, well, there you are then. Oh, well, Trump will like it.
Yeehaw.
Yes, all of that. Yes,
all
indeed.
of that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, what we've learned here is that the score remains 6-4, and you have the potential next week to claw it back to 1.
Everything to play for, as it has been for a while now, but you haven't pulled ahead, so we're okay on that one.
Your desired outcome has arrived.
You could put it like that if you wanted to sound like a corporate knob. Yeah.
Yeah.
All fine. Yes.
It can happen.
It can happen.
They were good. I like those. Short and sweet, not convoluted.
Yeah. So right on it. Those. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So there we go.
All right. Well, it rumbles on to another week. You utter bastard.
It also proves that you can be fooled by some of my research and not just my son's. So that's good as well.
Very true, and it does prove that no Googling has been occurring.
Yes, that's also true. Yes,
yeah.
good.
Some people probably worry because I've had a few in a row of good results. I'm like, well, no.
So you think people might think you're up to no good there?
Yeah, well,
yes.
No. But there we go. Fallible as it turns out.
You might have bought yourself an absolutely silent keyboard that you can rapidly type on without us hearing it, but that seems like a lot of effort.
It's a lot of effort. I mean, considering I have a mechanical one in front of me, you're going to know if I'm typing.
Well, and as have I. So, yeah, that probably wouldn't really work, no.
No. Okay. Well, that's good. It rumbles on.
It does. Very good. Excellent.
So
you've been out and about.
I have been out and about. It was the big trip. Came back from Le Mans on Monday. Big old drive.
Mm-hmm.
Not too
yes.
shabby. We as reported on here, we took the van. And you know what? I think it was a good idea because we didn't have to pack lightly, and I'm really grateful for that. It means we had everything we needed and probably more.
Yeah, you did have all the room you needed there. Yeah, that was probably a good shout. Yeah, probably made for a less interesting drive, but yeah, practical.
Yeah, but it was fine. It was fine. I've got no issue with that. I tell you what, I think I would do is I think next time. I think the optimum thing is to probably bolster the number of attendees. And travel down in maybe a couple of interesting cars and one support vehicle as a van. And then
that would be interesting. Yes, to cope with the inevitable breakdown.
Well, not necessarily the breakdowns, but it just means that you can pack everything you need.
True.
I think that's a really good way of doing it. I think it means one big vehicle combined with a couple of fun ones, and as long as people are happy to rotate a little bit on the driving, I think that means everyone can have a lovely time and get there and camp in as much comfort as humanly possible.
That's it's not the worst plan you've ever come up with, that is it?
No, I'm quite happy with that one.
Yeah.
So it was a lovely drive. Because it is always. I know you think, well, actually, it's a bit tedious, but it's always nice driving somewhere different.
Yeah, true, and their roads are in considerably better condition than ours.
Yeah. Before we get into the sort of Le Mans regaling or anything like that, what I will say is, not only are their roads in better condition, but the driving standard is superb.
Yeah, well, it's deteriorating rapidly over here, isn't it?
So, I mean, we cruised. We went A roads, which are motorways, autoroutes, D roads, E roads, N roads for some of it. We did a bit of rural. We did a bit of everything. It was everywhere was lovely.
Yeah, nice.
It was brilliant. The driving standard was excellent. The roads were excellent. The scenery was stunning. I will let me quickly send you because the context of this is that because we had a late change of vehicle, we couldn't apply for the clean air or crit air as they call it in France for the van quickly enough. So we had to detour because otherwise our route would have taken us directly through Rouen, which is less than ideal.
Yes.
So what we had to do was we had to have a detour. Basically, we drove over as you come down, instead of dropping down into Rouen, we basically sort of spurred off and went above it and then dropped down the west side of it. And when I say the side of it, it's not like we skirted around the city. We came across quite far and went through a national park.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. So, hang on, let me send you a picture of where we went.
Always and on the podcast.
Yeah, we'll put it in. We'll put it in the Discord so this is relevant when we get there. Where's you? There's you. So this we got to go across here, which was rather lovely.
Oh, let's have a look at this. Oh, yeah, that's not too shabby, is it? That's what's the word I'm looking for? Stunning.
Yeah, it was a lovely bit of scenery.
What a good beautiful view. Bridge! What a beautiful bridge!
Yeah, it's all right, isn't it?
Wow.
So, yeah,
that was. I'm impressed with that. That's very nice.
Absolutely lovely detour. The views leading up to and following the bridge were lovely. Really good. And it took us probably 20 minutes to half an hour out of our way, which if we'd have gone through the centre of Rouen, there's basically a bit which is through a glorified colossal industrial estate, and it's all you do is queue through it. So we probably didn't actually lose time. Yes, we added some distance, but time-wise, not at all.
Not at all, and you got to see some beautiful views, such as that one there will have afforded you. Yes, very nice.
Yeah, and in stunning weather as well, so it was good. I think probably my only criticism of the driving in France was they are starting to introduce some automation on their toll roads. So we always use the toll routes because they shave off so much time, and the price of them isn't too bad.
Yep.
So we always use the stretches of the auto route that you have to pay for because it just makes sense. And the roads are deadly quiet because the French refuse to use them.
Refuse to pay.
Yeah. However, the automation they are now doing is very similar to, for instance, the Dartford crossing when you go around the M25. You're not actually stopped. The traffic carries on flowing, but you must go online and pay. Now, they've started this in a very small scale in France and not really publicised it very well.
They're quite good at that. They're quite good at changing the regulations and then not telling anybody so that they can catch lots of people not doing it.
Yeah. So specifically, there are some routes on the A13 and A14 that have this new form of toll road. And if you were to stray onto it, you have 72 hours in which to pay said fee. And the route that we took, particularly involving this detour, in order to get back onto the auto route to drop us down into Le Mans, we had to join, I think it was the A13 for less than a kilometre. We basically joined a slip road, remained on the slip road, and left at the slip road. We never actually joined the flow of traffic. However, we tripped the cameras for this and had to pay. So for a grand total of so there and back, that was a grand total of, I think, probably about 1.6 kilometers. I think was as much as we were on that stretch of motorway. That was €4 for that.
There you go. You see, yeah, that is quite French, isn't it?
That is, and what I don't get as well is, well, I understand the sort of keep the flow of traffic going, blah blah blah. Yeah, why not? I mean, it was. I have absolutely never been snarled up at a toll booth ever in France.
Yeah,
they're always incredibly fast flowing. With the one exception of this journey where, I had the foresight. I don't know why, but there was a lorry in front of us at the toll booth. And I'd left quite a gap.
Yeah.
And the lorry was creeping up, and then all of a sudden, bang, just drove into the barrier.
Oh no!
And then reversing light started. And I'm like, do you know what? I'm glad I left a gap because I'm going for a different lane and getting out of the way of this one.
Yeah, I'm just not getting involved in that.
No.
No.
So dodge that. But yeah, it's the one thing that does worry me about it of going, well, actually, it makes sense, but the toll roads that we use, there are certain stretches of them that are owned and operated by different companies.
Yes.
Which means if they all go down this automated route, you need to know which ones you're paying. Which I think
that's a very good point.
Air of complexity, because when I paid the one that we used, because I thought I didn't realize we tripped it, and I was like, well, you know what, I'm just going to put the reg in and see what happens. And lo and behold, both of our trips were there. And I thought, well, that's awfully cruel for such a short distance of not actually using your fucking motorway.
Yeah.
But when it's owned and operated by different companies, you're going to be checking a million different websites. Like, you go on a family holiday in France, you go, well, I've been on various auto routes. I'm going to have to put my reg here, there, and everywhere, just on the off chance I might owe some money.
You know what? That's exactly how we are going to implement it in this country, isn't it? You just know that's how we'll do it.
Oh yeah.
There'll be again, to use an unfortunate corporate phrase, there'll be no joined up thinking at all. Everybody would just do their own thing, and it'll be a total shit, like EV charging was to begin with. It's a bit better now, but it's just everybody just does their own thing, and you need a different card and an account and a different thing and a PIN number.
Precisely.
And not only will you have to go to different companies to pay it, they'll all do it in a slightly different way and probably use a different payment processor which has different ways of interacting with it, and it'll just be a total shambles. That's how we'll do it. Yes.
Yeah, you think France has got it bad? Like, hold my beer.
Yes, we will make a shambles of it, because that's what we do in this country.
Precisely. But put a pin in that tiny little blip, and the driving was amazing. And you know what? The drive back, I will talk about the bit in between, the interesting bit, but the drive back was a really early start, and we just blasted through. We absolutely blasted through France. It was lovely. It was
tremendous.
Just a lovely, simple drive. Got to the tunnel. Security was horrendously busy. Thank you, Boris. And then we got on the train after getting through all the security stuff, because it's got. I do like the fact that the Channel Tunnel, you do all your passport control, your security, and everything before you get on the train, so that when you arrive, you literally drive off the train and you are on the public roads.
That is nice, isn't it? Yeah,
I like that. However, I don't like it the other way when we come back to England, because you get off the train and you arrive on a British motorway and you go, and normality.
And we're back.
Slaps you in the face. It's like the lane discipline in France is regimental. We got off the train. Good. Yeah. We got off the train and middle lane dickhead.
Of course. Oh, we're really good at that in this country.
Yeah, so the M20 was diabolical. The M26 was diabolical. The M25 was in another league of fucked. It was a nondescript Monday. It was busy. It was appalling driving. There were traffic jams for no reason whatsoever. It was horrendous.
Yeah.
I got no time for it. No, but
welcome home.
Yeah. But we made it back. We're all right. So, Le Mans.
So the bit in the middle. Yes.
The bit in the middle. What a lovely bit in the middle. We had, do you know what? A lovely time. The weather was searing. It was lovely.
You did have it quite warm, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah. For Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we were 30s for that. Big numbers.
Yeah. That's proper.
Yeah, but that's what you want, though, isn't it? It's like, you know what? Yes, it is a bit hot, but you know what? We're having a lovely time. Let's not complain.
Yes, quite right.
We enjoyed it enormously. So what was interesting? So we arrived the Wednesday, set up, got far too hot trying to set up. But then we went for our stroll, did the obligatory wander to the circuit and had a proper look. When I say wander to the circuit, it's more the sort of Paddock and Village area. Because the circuit was right next to us anyway. And it's nice to see that there's a lot more organisation gone into it, I would say. Because previous years there are a lot of foot crossings, either over roads or once you're into the ticketed area, there are quite a few access roads that are pedestrian crossings and things like that, and they're always a pain in the arse. The busier it gets, and all they've done is built temporary bridges for pedestrians to make life easier.
Right.
Which, I commend the work there. That's really nicely done.
Yeah.
So we enjoyed a day at the circuit. We walked all the way up through. So we started at Porch Curves, walked all the way along. So we have when you leave our campsite at Porch Curves, you have to walk along one of the access roads before you get ticketed to actually get into the circuit itself. So they've got the karting circuit on the inside around the it is now, I believe, called the karting turn. It used to be called Corvette Corner, but it's basically the first chicane before the Ford chicane near the pit entrance. So you walk along trackside all the way up. Then we walked all the way up to Dunlop, past there. Then they drop down into. I'm not sure they call it La Chapelle, because the La Chapelle is the right-hander that takes you onto the short circuit. But they drive past that and then down towards Tête Rouge, and we went all the way down there, and that's where the pedestrian access ends at that point, because you're onto the Mulsanne Straight and there's no spectators allowed down there. So that was absolutely lovely. Enjoyed that. Really nice because by the time we reached that sort of end of it, it was sort of dusk going into night, and it's probably the best, I say the best, probably my favourite time to watch, because the atmosphere is amazing. The lights are low. It's all about the senses. It's lovely.
Tremendous. Yes. Yeah.
And the heat calms down a little bit, so you can enjoy a bit of spectating without absolutely sweating your tits off.
That must help.
Yeah. So we headed back. Once as practice was coming to end, we sort of started wandering back and watching as we watched as we headed home, and a few beers, big old sleep, because it'd been a long old day. The Thursday we said, right, we're going to have a gentle morning because there's no immediate track action, get a bit of kip, lovely. Then we said, right, let's go. It was really warm, but we're going back to the circuit, do a few things. There was some merch that needed to be required. So I was getting some from me.
Of course.
Rob wanted some. I was getting some for my dad, some for my uncle, all of the above. Just ticking off all the treats.
You had a shopping list. We
did, and we also had free entry to the museum. So we said, well, let's go and do that before it gets to one of the really busy days.
Yeah, it'd be silly not to.
So that was excellent. So we had a look through the museum. Since I was last there, the sort of chronological bit of it was fairly similar. So we had Le Mans cars through the ages, starting fairly early back with some of the original 20s cars, but going all the way through in some real gems, some particular highlights. That we had come on, brain. Porsche 917, Porsche 917K as well. So they were naughty. The Shelby Daytona Coupe that I love enormously. Porsche 906, Porsche 956, Porsche 962s, Mazda 787Bs, Bentley Speed 8s, and then the more modern stuff, Toyota GT1s, Audi R8s, 10s, 15s, 18s, Porsche 919s, Peugeot 908s, all of the treats. Then we got to the main bit that we were really interested in, and because McLaren are having a big push, they did a big unveil of their Le Mans car that I believe is debuting at Le Mans in 27. So they unveiled the car at Le Mans on the Saturday, but they had a McLaren exhibition at the museum. Which basically meant you get there were two rooms. There was one of sort of some of the older McLarens, some Formula One, some sports car related, some where McLaren had a hand in them. And then we went into the second McLaren room, which had no less than 5 McLaren F1 GTRs in there.
Oh, there's no need for that.
Yeah. So, including the 1995 Le Mans winning car.
Some would say that's a bit greedy.
Yeah. I hope that room is well insured, because that's a 3-figure in the millions room.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's a very big number.
Yeah, and that was absolutely tremendous. Really nice to see them, and you've got such good access to them as well. They're not tucked away or anything. You can have a really good peek, get some really nice photos. Some of those did sneak onto our Instagram over that particular weekend, but now I've spoken about it, I will put more things up.
Please do.
This brings me on to a little anecdote from the museum, which you will find hilarious, because it broke me, and it ruined Rob once, because he didn't hear it, but I explained what had happened.
Okay.
As we were walking through, and I do believe it was one of the Porsche 956, so it would have been sort of mid to late 80s.
Okay.
Was a really nice example, but a customer car, not sort of Rothmans or Martini or anything like that. Just a customer car, really nice.
Okay.
And one of the driver names on the door, obviously being a Le Mans car, 3 drivers, but one of them was no less than Tiff Needell.
Oh, we like him, don't we?
We do, and he's a safe pair of hands.
He is.
So that's fine. So, and I was just having a little mooch around the car, and there was this married couple in front of me, and the husband's pouring all over it, and
of course
he turns to his wife and said, "Hello, look at that! That's Tiff Needell off Top Gear, that is." Right, and so okay, he's curating for her. This is great.
He's not wrong.
You say that.
Oh.
She looked at him and went, "Tiff Needell's not on Top Gear." She's like, "That's Clarkson and that lot." He's like, no, love, the old one. What do you mean, old one? It's Clarkson and that lot. And then he reiterated and went, look, Tiff Needell was on old Top Gear. And she huffed at him and went, "Don't be so fucking stupid." They had an utter domestic about whether Tiff Needell was on Top Gear.
I've never been on Top Gear.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
In the middle of the bloody Le Mans Museum. Don't be so fucking stupid.
I can picture them.
Yeah. Really?
Oh, well, especially as the husband is right.
Yeah. But no, she was having none of it.
He would not believe that. No. Made it up.
Yeah.
Oh dear, that's going to be a long trip home, isn't it?
It is. I mean, that's really niche to have a domestic in the Le Mans Car Museum about Tiff Liddell.
And whether he'd ever been on Top Gear. That's very specific, isn't it?
God.
Wow. Wow.
It's just.
Wow. Okay.
That just made me piss myself. I've just creased up.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I'm not adult enough to deal with that.
Oh, bless them. No, that's not one for you to calm down. No, you're not going to wade in there and say, "Excuse me, if I may."
That would be so bold.
Yes. I'm afraid your husband is correct.
God knows what she'd tell me.
Oh, no, you get punched in the bits.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's not good.
Dear,
yeah, no, I thought
that's
you'd appreciate
wonderful.
That.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I can picture them. I know. Was there? Yeah, I can picture them.
Yeah, I got nothing on that other than
that's wonderful.
I enjoyed it.
That's wonderful.
For goodness sake, bloody people.
Well, she hadn't done her research, had she? Clearly, she's not a proper fan.
No, not at all. So after that little gem in there, we spent the rest of our day where we said, right, we're here. We've paid a few quid to be here.
Need to make the most of it.
Yep. So what we said was like, it may be baking hot, but we're going to do everything. We're having it. So we went out to Arnage to do some spectating. Then we carried on all the way down to Mulsanne Corner. I make this sound really grandiose, but there are a couple of shuttle buses that you can use to do those because they are miles away. They are absolutely miles away because you can't walk alongside the track. You have to go all the way around the houses on the back roads. So,
of course, yeah.
Funnily enough, the main route there is the road being used by racing cars, so that's less than ideal.
Yeah, you probably don't want to be wandering along there. No.
Yeah. So we basically over the course of the weekend, well, probably over the course of 2 days, actually, we went to every spectator spot you can.
Good man, as you should.
Yeah. Yeah, and the theme continued. We had a bit more merch gathering on Friday for some people, and then let's face it, because it's not the track action day, that was the beer day. So we got stuck in there, bit of beer, bit of wine, bit of whiskey. Away you go, perfect.
Full compliment. Well done.
Yeah, so that was nice. Yeah, went to bed merry and woke up feeling great. Actually, it was the right level of drunk.
Okay, you hadn't gone over the edge.
No, I hadn't overstretched. So that's good. And I have to say, I have to give a massive compliments to people that run the campsite because the service was outstanding. The food was superb. In recent times, I went to MotoGP for Silverstone, and all you do is, while the campsite and the amenities are really good, through no fault of the campsite or the Silverstone circuit. Well, maybe the Silverstone circuit because they're the ones who invite them. But the food vendors are a bit samey, as in fried stodge.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, but you quite like that.
Yeah, I don't mind that, but when you have to have it day after day after day, it does start to sit a bit heavy after a while.
A bit. I did notice you had a salad for lunch on your first day back.
Well, actually, no. I do you know what? Le Mans, I will compliment hugely on the food, because the campsite offered superb food throughout.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah, I mean, so the first day we got there, we actually catered for ourselves the first day we got there because we'd grabbed some grub when we got some beer, so we went full French, baguettes, brie,
Good
some cold
man.
meats, perfect.
Good
and then
man.
when we were at the circuit, so we grabbed a quick hot dog, which was really quite nice. Campsite the following day. So breakfast is complimentary, which is lovely. So you can have
Ooh, very nice.
goods. You can have the continental. You can just have fruit, whatever you like. Perfect.
Yeah.
Superb. Lasagna in the evening with salads and all sorts.
Ooh, lovely.
Lovely. Friday
Lovely.
night, dangerous, but we survived.
Yes.
And then what does sound quite heavy is they do a barbecue Saturday night, which actually means you get nice steak, some sausages, some really nice chicken, but then you get all of the greenery to go with it, some couscous, pastas, and all sorts. So you eat incredibly well there. Yeah, they did so well, and I came back feeling human. Yes, you are correct. I did have a salad.
You did.
It's just to maintain a bit of humanity, and I've been trying to eat superbly well this week. But actually, I overbeered last week. I'm going to dial it back, so under beer and make sure that the food intake is incredibly healthy.
It is back under control. Well, that's to be admired.
Yeah, so doing a bit of that. So, race itself. What a fascinating race. Let's be honest. Cadillac locked out the front row with Team Jota.
Oh yes, of course. I forgot they were there. Yeah.
Locked out front row. Those cars sound amazing. Proper American V8 noises.
Yeah.
Unlike the Corvettes in the GT class, which in years gone by, the first Le Mans I ever went to, when a Corvette came past, you thought it was the end of the world. Honestly, it was like the rapture coming. It was, but this is deadly silent. Barely hear them.
That's not really in the spirit of it, is it?
No, and it's not a legislation thing because there's Aston's racing in GT3 and they sound guttural. Like, well,
so it's a decision they've made.
Yeah, and I do get that they're not Are they natural? That's a really good question. Hang on, I'm gonna have to ask in there because I was gonna go by it's probably the turbocharged thing, and I was like, I'm making a wild assumption there.
You are.
C8 GT3. There it is. Z06 GT3R. Huh. No. I did make a wild assumption. No, they are supposedly claiming that is still a naturally aspirated engine. All right. I tried to defend it. No,
you did, but your fact was wrong. So okay.
No, I questioned it as soon as it fell out of my mouth. I'm like, hang on. No.
Yes. You thought, oh, hang on, that doesn't sound. I'm not sure. Yes.
So that they sounded rubbish, and they were they do basically before you go into Le Mans, they do kind of a balance of performance to make sure the cars are as even as they can be between manufacturers. And when they use the word balance, that seems to be incorrect in relation to Corvettes because they must have dialed them back severely because they were uncompetitive to say the least.
Okay. Right.
So as the race unfolded, it became really, really clear that at the front of the field, while the caddies were fast over a lap, it was essentially a 2-horse race between Ferrari and Porsche. Toyota were nowhere to be seen. Alpine were struggling. The introduction of the new Aston, it's first year, isn't it? They finished, and that's all you can ask from a debut of a car at Le Mans. They sounded amazing. Having a V12 back at Le Mans is something special. But the Ferraris were really impressive, to the point of being a little tedious. The only saving grace was, what was interesting is as they headed towards victory, everyone assumed that team orders were going to come into play and ensure that the red cars finished ahead of the yellow customer car. Whereas actually no team orders were enforced. So this gets slightly complicated. So the red cars are the factory cars. So the factory Ferrari cars, aided by AF Corsa as their partner team, and the yellow car is operated entirely by AF Corsa and supported slightly by Ferrari. So get your
the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everyone was making some assumptions. Even the drivers in the AF Corsa car were going, well, we're not going to be allowed to win, are we?
Right.
But they did. Fair play to Ferrari. They didn't intervene in any way, shape, or form. I think they were just happy to go, well, I don't think anyone minds what colour the car is or what team name is next to it. Everyone's going to go Ferrari one. Doesn't matter. And someone made the incredibly valid point of going, they've, ever since the debut of the Ferrari hypercar, they've always ran 3 at Le Mans, 2 factory, 1 customer, in exactly the same setup. And it's always been roughly the same set of drivers in each. And what's really interesting is since 23, when they won with on the debut of that car, each year a different one of those 3 cars has won. And the theory being that that no team orders were put into place because the publicity that Ferrari get by having such a versatile car that if you work it out, that over the course of the last 3 years, 9 different drivers have triumphed in that car, shows that not only is the car good, but it's easy for a driver to slip into it and win.
Yeah, not hard to learn. Yeah,
no, that's it. So yeah, it was really good to see it. It was really good to see the customer car and a bit of a Formula One nod. It was the main driver was Robert Kubica, who was former Formula One winner. Also tipped many moons ago to be a Ferrari Formula One driver, but he had that horrific rally accident mid-season, out of the Formula One season, where they basically had to reattach his arm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it kind of curtailed his Formula One career. He did have 1 year in a Williams much later on, but it was not anything worth writing home about. But yeah, he's found his feet at Le Mans and is now Le Mans winner. So that was excellent. It's not too shabby. The one, in terms of me and who I was supporting, it's no surprises that in the GT3 class, one Valentino Rossi is now very much a well-established endurance racer. So his BMW M4 GT3 was in the GT3 class. Rossi and team had some excellent qualifying. Rossi did the last stint of qualifying, put it 3rd in class. They were leading for a huge amount of the first sort of third of the race. They were superbly competitive. Turned in at sort of 2-3 o'clock in the morning on the Sunday, and with car 46 in the lead of GT3, thinking I can go to bed safely.
Yes.
How wrong was I?
All changed overnight, did it?
Not that long after I went to bed, actually. They hit a rabbit or a hare, something like that, coming into the curves. Which you'd think, well, that's actually quite small, but it caused a colossal electrical issue and forced retirement.
Oh no! That's incredibly bad luck.
Yeah. So I'd woken up and ready to go full support mode. I got my Rossi t-shirt, Rossi hat, Rossi sunglasses. I was ready.
Of course you did.
I had all the gear, and then it became immediately clear that they were no longer in the race.
That's no good.
No, but in terms of consolation prize in GT, Manti won in the 911, which I'm not going to be upset about at all.
I imagine you're quite pleased with that, yeah.
And the one really interesting stat that came out of that, the 92 911 that won GT3 class, was one of the drivers was Richard Leitz, and he now has become the most successful Porsche driver at Le Mans. That is his 6th win behind the wheel of a Porsche.
That's not too shabby, is it?
No, not too shabby at all. But it was an utterly fascinating race. I love the complexities of it. I've also started, now this is where the real sadness comes in, I've started downloading the data from the race because people are available. Yeah. So
you're getting into an area there.
Yeah. So, well, as you well know, we have the tools to do a lot of analysis on that.
Well, we do, but just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
Well, I disagree. So yes, I do have that data, and I have begun the analysis. I do have a weekend with a wife away doing something, so that data analysis may well ramp up quite substantially, because what it does is it just, with so many cars not finishing, the analysis of their pace. What I find fascinating as well is the analysis of the Ferrari pace versus the Porsche, and the way that the length of the stints correlates to the progression, particularly Porsche, because Kevin Estre in the number 6 car started at the back of the hypercar class because there was a scrutineering blip which made his qualifying times invalid. So he came all the way from the back of the hypercar class to finish 2nd overall.
Yeah, that's okay, isn't it?
And analysing how he did that's the bit that's going to excite me.
That's going to get you going, isn't it? You're going to be there all on your own, which is obviously correct. Getting all excited about that.
Yeah, and I know I'm calling out Kevin Estre on his own, but I know he's got 2 teammates, but he is the one that made the discernible difference on the track, I would say. I'm not doing a disservice. The other 2 did an incredible job, kept it on the road, but he's the one who pushed it to the next level.
Okay. Well, I mean, happy analysing is all I can say.
Yes. I know I've delved into that a lot, but yeah. But the thing is, I can never be bored with a Le Mans race. They are wonderful. That
you do love it, don't you? You do love it.
I do, and it was particularly exceptional this time. Granted, the one person that I wanted to finish well didn't, but that didn't cloud an otherwise superb race. I think with a hint of work on strategies and some more driver longevity, I think Porsche could actually take it to Ferrari next time.
Oh, you'd get all unnecessary, wouldn't you, if that happened?
I would, because last time I went for the centenary in 23, everyone was really excited that Ferrari are back, and we were excited. Don't get me wrong, and it was the one thing, and this is daft, isn't it? But the one thing that clouded it for me, thinking, "Oh, I'm really excited. It's Ferrari back. Ferrari could actually do this." And you go up and you go, "Well, I'm going to have a look at some Ferrari t-shirts. We're going to look really cool." You're not going to look cool. B, the price.
Yeah.
I mean, now, come on, guys. So back in 23, the cheapest Ferrari t-shirt that you could buy at Le Mans, so the absolute boggo, was €92.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah. This, we had a peek around the door, and they wouldn't even publish prices.
If you have to ask, etc.
Yeah, exactly that. So I got my nice bright Rossi t-shirt for €25. Done.
That'll do you.
That's the price point I'm happy to pay. Yeah.
Yes. Once you're getting up into the 90s and beyond, nah.
No, you're all right. Yeah, absolutely all right. I mean, the Porsche shop is quite expensive, but it makes Ferrari make it look cheap.
Yes. Oh dear. Yeah, that's a bit silly. That's taking advantage.
Yes. But there we go. I apologise. That was probably like
that was tremendous. I like the enthusiasm.
Yeah, that was 3/4 hour of me rambling at you about motorsport with a hint of Tiff Needell in the middle.
Oh, I love that. I can see them. They're there in my mind.
I'd love to have got a snap, but it would have been far too obvious. Okay, well,
wonderful.
What we'll do then, we'll resume normal service next week. We'll be way less motorsport heavy, and you can feel a bit more at ease, because we do have car news to catch up on. I'm well aware of that. There's been odds and sods going on that we need
there is some car bits and bobs, but I thank you for your extensive field report there.
Not a bother. And just to close us off, not only did the van take us there and back, but upon its return 2 days later, had an entirely clean bill of health on its MOT.
It did. And does this herald it being up for sale?
Well, probably. I mean, the van was MOT'd. Events occurred, and then and then Kaylee's been away. So it's one of those tasks that was near the top of the pile and there was then thrust to the bottom really quickly because stuff.
Stuff, and it's not so important for the minute. Yes, fair enough. Fair enough.
We'll get there, but just give us just a little minute.
That's right. Yeah. I can do that. Yeah.
Yes, but
I don't want to buy it. Don't read too much into that.
No, that's understandable. I don't think you have a particular need for a van at the moment.
No, I don't.
But if you did, it's in tip-top condition. So there you go.
Oh, it's the one you want if you want a small van. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly yes. Don't want to put anyone off.
No, don't put any. Actually, all offers welcomed. Genuinely, if someone wants it, shout.
Yeah, there you go.
When it does go up for sale, I'll put it in Discord.
Find another, or something like that.
Something like that. But find another Citroen Berlingo. Yeah, all right.
Yes, probably quite easy, isn't it?
Yeah. Just scroll to the next ad. Although it won't be as good as this one.
No, exactly. This one's special. It's had you in it. Oh no, I'm putting people off again. Sorry.
Right, stop talking by the van.
No.
Well, I think that's probably enough of that for this week. Check us out on all the various social medias and things. Thank you very much for listening.